Hey folks, gonna do a long video today, talk about reversals, timing tops, and market psychology. So if you're a fan of the channel, you know that we do a lot of recaps for the 15-minute chart reversal. Just as a reminder, what are we looking for? We look for number 1, new 15-minute lower high, number 2, new 5-minute lower high, and number 3, we look for the moving averages to cross, right? Look for the 9 and the 20 to get above the 50 off the 1-minute chart, or if you're using the 2-minute chart like me, you look for the 8 and the 20 to cross. Those translate to roughly the same areas. Okay, so a lot of beginners, they reach out to me, they say, Robert, you know, by the time I wait for the 15-minute confirmation or wait for all those 3 stars to align, the entry is so late, my risk to reward's messed up, the move's already done, half the move's done. And that's a valid argument, right? Because we are trying, in that strategy, we're trying to catch the backside of a reversal, a trend change, not the front side or the top. And timing tops is very dangerous when you're a beginner. When you don't understand price action, you don't understand the move as part of a larger context of what's happening in the day, where people are typically long, where shorts are waiting for, and stuff like that. Trying to short an uptrend can be very dangerous. Trying to long a downtrend can be very dangerous, right? And this happens quite often. People get tunnel vision. I talk about this a lot. They try to buy low, end up selling lower. They try to short high, end up covering higher. Same story over and over. And this is what happens when you try to get the front side or the top. So that 15-minute reversal, the 3 stars, is a really good place for beginners to catch reversals with less risk and a higher probability. Now, what I've been working on for the past few weeks here is I'm trying to combine that logic of timing the trend change, or at least a pullback in the trend, and the smaller time frames to get a better entry, catch a smaller move. I'll pull back to the moving average sometimes. Sometimes it'll continue, get to VWAP, but just a smaller move, but get a better entry near the high of the day. And what I'm using to assess the situation is I'm counting flags. And what does that even mean? I count the number of flags that is part of the current move, right? So SQ, let's take a look at SQ. SQ ripped up high, rejected previous day close, came back over it, trended up, got to the 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart, and then pulled back, and this is where I caught my trade, right? So as you can see, I sat on my hands for 2 hours, over 2 hours, waiting for this to pan out. I wasn't going to short on this trend up, right? You gotta be crazy to be shorting an uptrend. I'm waiting to try to find a signal to give me the best chance of this working out. I'm sniping. I need one shot. I have one shot at this, and it happened to work out here, right? So count the flags. This is 1 flag. This is 2, 3. We're now on the 4th. Okay, I want you guys to see why are bull flags created. I mentioned this in the last video. Bull flags are created when something gets pushed up, right? Pulls back to the MA or goes sideways until it hits an MA, and then buyers will come to push the price off the MA, right? Buyers will come push it off. See that? Pushed it off. Right here. Up. What do you think is going to happen here? Well, when we get to a point where the buyers can't push it off anymore? Well, anyone who's long from, who knows, from here, maybe they're long from here, maybe they're long from this second flag, who knows, people who are on board, they're going to have to start bailing, right? And first sign of weakness, they're going to have to start bailing. That's the first group, people who are long, right? And then you have people who are about to go long, people who are getting faked out, thinking that this maneuver is just going to work for the 4th or 5th or 6th time, right? As you guys know, I trade the first and the second flags. Anything after that is a crapshoot. Anything after that's usually a trap, right? And that's the same for shorts, right? Bear flags. So people who are just going long, a first sign of weakness, their break even or their stop is going to get triggered. There's another wave of selling coming, right? So you have people long, dumping. They need to get out. The people who just came in, the late people who are late, they need to dump. And then you have people on the sidelines, right? So I'm a firm believer that there's 3 parties that can move the price. You have longs, shorts, and sidelines. People on the sidelines are very powerful because they can pile in. Once they see something going, they pile in, right? And that just drives the move. So this is what I saw. I saw we're coming up to this moving average. This was beginning to form a shooting star. It was not yet a full shooting star until I preempted this. I preempted this because based on the time, this was going to close with a very high wick. Shooting star, what's the psychology behind a shooting star? It opens here. Okay, it opens here. The price gets shot up, right? Buyers are in control. And then sellers overpower them and send the price back down to close near where it opened, right? So you had a move up and a more powerful move down. That is the power of a shooting star. So I want you guys to see what happens here. people went long here. That's what gave this top wick. It closed, came down, went up. People thought that this was going to repeat the push off the MA, and it got slammed back down. Boom. What do you think is going to happen now during this slam? It lost the moving average in a single candle. People are going to have to start bailing, right? People who are long, they saw this, they said, okay, party's over. Let's just get out of this. Shorts who are on the sideline, right? People looking to go short like myself, let's pile in, push down the price. People who just went long, maybe, I think some people may have been trapped by this new 5-minute high. They're going to be wrong. And that's the type of maneuver you want to see. You want to see a capitulation where it comes down. Any new test will get pushed back down, right? And come down in waves. And look at the white candles. No volume. It's people just covering their shorts. Or the people who are on the wrong side, they're just trying to go long into this obviously clear high of the day shooting star. And that's a pretty easy trade, right? Got to the previous day close, bounced back up, but that wasn't my move. My move was 2-to-1 from here to here. Got that. Okay, so that's a long recap. Let's talk about Apple. I did the same thing on Apple last week. Out of all the days I decided to short Apple, I never short Apple, but I did it on the day that it gapped up on earnings, ran up $6. I decided to short it here. Took it on the 12 o'clock candle and it was out at the 12:30 candle. So as you can see, trended up very strong. People were probably shorting. I remember that day in the chat room, actually, a lot of people were asking, when do we short Apple? When do we short Apple? Well, you know, you got to look for the signals again, guys. So what did we see? What did I see on this Apple trade last week? Counting flags. 1, 2, arguably that's part of it. 3, getting wavy, getting sideways. What happens? What's going to happen when the sellers are exhausted, or sorry, the buyers are exhausted, right? No one's going to step in to buy this anymore at some point. And the people who are already long are going to have to jump ship. Well, you get a push off candle. Push off. I'm bouncing off the MAs. People going long. This is going to be great. We're going to break high of the day. Seller step in. No, you're not. Right? Rejects the high of the day. Selling pressure. Piles in. People on the sidelines piling in. Current longs bailing out. Anyone who's stuck in this is now trapped. They're panicking. What do you get? You get a rout. Right? A rout. This one didn't even have a chance to come back the way SQ did. And I was out in this area, right? So that's what you want to see. Waves down. Don't get spooked out. Look at SQ. Came back to my break even. Don't get spooked out. That's normal. This is normal, guys. You want to see it come back and reject, right? This is just people covering their shorts or whatever, right? And people who miss this entry, this is a good thing. People who miss this entry, if it ever pulls back up, they're going to try to short it. So you should see selling pressure when it comes back to test the moving averages or any prior areas. And I often say this, right? Your entry is your new resistance or your new support. This happens on reversals too. Sometimes you go long, comes back to test, and it still goes, right? Your entry was here, or wherever it may be, your entry was here, it comes back to test it, right? So that was Apple. SKX I took a few weeks back. You saw the recap on that. If not, take a look at the channel. It's a similar maneuver, counted the flags up. I used the power of inversion as I talked about it, right? I just counted the flags up. I saw we are coming to a point here. Gave a shooting star and just slammed down. And there were a couple trades last week which I didn't take, but these were beauties as well. We are talking about AMD on May 2nd. Similar maneuver, and QCOM as well. So AMD, right? What do you see? And this is a good trend trade, isn't it? Right? It's a really good trend trade. It's given 4 or 5 flags. You get to this top here. At some point, people are going to stop buying, right? The buyers are going to be exhausted, and anyone who's just going long on some new 5-minute high, they're going to be in for a rude awakening when the shorts pile in after this shooting star. And there it is, a shooting star, the shooting star, 2-minute, 5-minute. This candle just engulfed. So if you took it off the 15, no chance, right? No chance. The 1-to-1, don't trade these guys. Don't trade these 1-to-1s. Try to look for these earlier entries. And it was gone. Poof. QCOM, same story. It's actually at the same time. I'm wondering if people who are riding both trends, you had a breakout for the high of the day. Had 1 flag, 2 flags. This third one failed, right? Came up, failed. Buyers pushed it up. Sellers came down, said, nope, party's over. Came back down as a shooting star. As a shooting star. Even the 15 was a shooting star. So that one, look at that move. Boom, just gone. Gone in waves, right? Gone in waves. That's how you want to see it happening. Okay, so that's what I've been trying to do. Seems to be working so far. Look for the shooting stars. Try to get into the mindset of people in the trade, people not in the trade, and people who are potentially getting faked out. Count the flags. Look at the time of day. Don't take the stuff too early. I'd say 10:30, 10:45 is probably the best time you want to take this, because reversals, guys, they don't happen this early in the morning. I mean, you'll pull back to the VWAP and stuff like that, but you want to get a certain distance. You want to get extended, right, for these risk to reward to make sense. So I hope this video was helpful. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Leave me a comment and we can discuss further. Thanks for watching.